worked on, I know you've written Vampire Diaries before, and we have lots of different, spins on the classic vampire genre, especially the young adult, sexy vampire ones. I'm just wondering, in your opinion, what makes this one special? And what makes it stand out from the crowd?
Well, I'm going to start by saying one of my favorite things that Julie did was take from the root of the story of Vampire Diaries, told 3 different series, all of them, and I was lucky enough to be able to work on all of them. They were all really different, even those stories that are based on this world. So if anyone could do it, like I believe that Julie could do it, but also because of these books, I think the books are unique. Rochelle Mead wrote a great series of books. She has her own vampire rules. There are different kinds of vampires. There's a class system that is inherent in this, which makes it timely, which makes the why now of it so evident for us. And because we had the luxury of going to Spain to shoot, we were able to create a visually sumptuous world that was even more of a visual than I ever saw when I read the books. You saw it, I think. I saw Pennsylvania and Montana, beautiful places, but in going to Spain and in imagining it a little bit bigger, a little bit more beautiful, opening up that scenery and really creating a world from scratch, I think that makes it unique. We have unique rules. We're timely, and we're in this magical location, and we also have this blend of modern and ancient within it. So you'll see castles, you'll see a scene where someone's wearing a costume where you think it could be 1514, and then down the way is a dive bar, and people going in and you're hearing rock
club
and roll.
Music in the back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're like, what? And that's what I love about it.
Yeah, for sure.
What would you say is the most challenging thing to face when you guys are adapting the story from the books to the screen? And is there any places where you're branching off a little bit to do your own thing?
We treated the 6 books like you would treat cards in a writer's room, which is when you have a good idea, you put it up in a card, and you don't know where it's going in the structure of the episode or the show, but you know you want to get there. And so every great moment, I'll call them fan favorite moments, probably because through the lens of us as fans, not in that we're out there courting fan favorite stuff, but we have this mental writer's room whiteboard filled with all those best ideas. And then it's our job as storytellers and structuralists to then weave those ideas in the right order, in the right way, so that we can tell, let's knock on wood, multiple seasons of television that just goes on and on and on and on, encompasses the entirety of the series, and then also maybe does something a little new. So we're very, very respectful of and loyal to the contents of the books, but we are also not telling that story in the same way that the books did. This is the best way to put that.
Yeah.
And she has not been involved throughout the process, other than she and I are Twitter buddies, and she was very excited to know that we were doing this, and I was very excited the other day to tell her that we were finally done and there was finally something to show her. So she hasn't seen anything yet, and we both reached out to her to say, like, well, you said it so beautifully in your email about, like, what she gave us was so.
Yeah, she gave us this beautiful world that basically is, again, it's the resonance now. She built this class system that was unsustainable. She built a class system in which there were haves and have-nots and people doing all the work for people who were not really doing the work. It's all there, and that's the why now of it. And she said, yeah, I always imagined that this would be great for television, and I feel she herself felt that was basically the social justice aspect of it was something that really meant a lot to her, that we cared about that. So I am excited for her to see it. But of course, it's in this world. I mean, that's the great thing about vampire shows or genre in general to me. I don't draw to genre for genre. I draw to genre because you can tell stories in this way under the radar, in this metaphorical way, in a way in this hot, like our culture is so hot right now, and everything becomes sort of combative. And there's this way to kind of sit back and see a story that has point of view, but not have it be like a baseball bat to the head. Like, you can enjoy it, you can feel it, and you can think about what that means to you. These young women in this story are inheriting a world that is broken. what are they going to do about it? A world that's trying to tear them apart. Are they going to let it tear them apart, or just go with the flow? Or are they going to do something about it? And I think everybody right now, not just young people, has that same decision right now in this crazy world we live in. So I'm interested in being able to tell this beautiful, entertaining, awesome, luscious story, but that it has this underpinning that feels really resonant.
Cedric's.
And everything during COVID, how has that changed?
Oh Lord.
I mean, it is.
It's a challenge.
Weirdly, okay, I'll tell you this. So, the Zoom room for the writers is both great and terrible, because it's great because you're in your bedroom, you're in your pajamas, you don't have to shower, you don't have to commute, you can like step out to the fridge if you need a snack.
No grooming.
Like there's no bathing, and it's really effective. Like you can really get through the work, because there is no sit around and chit chat and tell the story about what I watched on TV last night, or what do you think of the news? You sign on, you get to work, you sign off, and so it's really efficient. But I personally need to be surrounded by whiteboards. That's a beautiful mind data, right? I need to see all the ideas up on the boards. I need to say I want to put that over there and that over there, and I need the whole visual picture. I almost cannot physically break a story if I'm sitting in my bedroom. It's so sad because I feel stifled.
There's also the downside of not telling those stories with
Right.
each other, because you bond together through that stuff. You open up a little more to each other. Your personal stories start to infuse the stories a little more, and I think that's important. Shooting during it was also,
But that was just masks and money.
and
chaos.
rescheduling and some chaos and everything. But then I want to say how proud I was through people. I can't believe how effective the shooting was through COVID. So it was a bump along the way, but it didn't really get us in the end. So I was really happy about that.
We got to Christmas. We almost got, it was basically we had 5 days left. 5 days. If we can just make these last 5 days, we can get. We were on location in Portugal.
Short timer.
We had a 2-week shoot in Portugal. We were 4 days into it, and somebody got COVID. We're like, it's okay. And then somebody else got COVID. We're like, it's okay. And then another person got COVID. We're like, we got to shut down. And everyone's like, we can't shut down. We're in Portugal, and we did shut down, even though at that point only 3 people had it. Within the next month, 75% of our crew had COVID over Christmas, and then by the time we got back. So it started in December, right when Omicron started in the United States. It just wiped through the entire crew. And the only good news being that by the time we got to April and we're finishing up our shoot, I think 99% of the people had it. And so at least there was nobody left to get it, except for 5 people.
All the exterior beautiful shots that we wanted there, and then when we moved it to Spain, because we had to flip the thing, we were in San Sebastian, Spain, which is a beautiful place to shoot. And I think it actually made the episodes. It was incredible. More locations. Somehow we lucked out.
Talk about travel locations and everything with the show. When you see streaming to traditional television, how freeing was it to be on a streaming platform where you can really make adjustments where traditional television would go back bad?
Yeah, it was incredibly freeing. One, because when you're making a streaming show right now, odds are good that you actually might get a little bit more money than you would at the broadcast level. So you can do things like shoot in Europe. You can obviously swear, you can write like you talk, which is freeing and fun. You don't have to be as worried about the act outs into the commercial breaks. Peacock has little cuts to black like Hulu, but it's not about, we got to make sure the audience comes back. The audience is going to stay, you'll be fine. But the biggest, most freeing thing is not having to adhere to any specific time limit, because I, as someone who's been only ever done broadcast shows, have taken a perfect episode of television and made it less perfect by having to cut out 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 2 minutes, 10 minutes. I mean, there were episodes of Vampire Diaries that I would have aired at 10 minutes over because I loved them so much. Try cutting 10 minutes out of something you love, and you have no choice. So that has been
And we talk about
beautiful.
this, like for me, the hardest thing is when I would be producing is cutting out air. Because as a viewer, when something happens, you want to have that moment to feel it. And I always felt like that was the hard part because you still have to have the story and all of that. So for this, we feel like we get that sense to go along for the ride, that little bit longer before you're in the next scene if it's necessary. So you can feel your way through the episodes a little bit more.
Yeah.